alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my Maktab by LMA with MLX Plus. Today we continue with lesson 9. The last lesson we spoke about the demise of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. One key point that is mentioned is that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is buried next to his beloved friend Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is buried in the Roda Mubarak right next to the grave of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For 6 months in the reign of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu's life, he lived in the outskirts of Medina, where he would travel to work every day to attend to the affairs of the state. As the work was becoming more and it was becoming difficult for him to travel back and from, he decided to take a small flat or an apartment in Masjid al-Nabawi. Where he lived with his wife, Habiba radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu's dressing was very, very simple. He wore patch clothing, simple clothing. He wasn't a man of any kind of pride. He never felt that he needed to wear very expensive clothes. He was simple. He was modest. And his dressing was very, very simple. His meals were very small, very scantily. He did not eat very heavy food, very luxurious food. His food was very simple. At times, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu had no food to eat. He would have a little bit of barley, some dry bread, olive oil, vinegar with water. Those were the meals that the Sahaba would eat. Their meals were very, very little. Their portions were very small. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was a very simple man. He didn't feel any work was beyond him. He helped with the household chores. He cleaned himself. He did not have any servants. He did his own washing, his own cooking, his own cleaning. He felt no work was too low or too shameful. He milked his own camels and the camels of his neighbors. At night, he would go out, look for the poor, the destitute, and the oppressed. He would go out and help the needy. There was never a time where a person would knock onto the door of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu for some kind of help or assistance. He would never turn them away. This was his nature. This was his character. He was there for the people during his time. He never said no to anybody. He was always welcoming. He was always supportive. His character was very mild. He was gentle. He was soft. He wasn't harsh. He wasn't rude. He took a mere salary for the entire year. He would take 6,000 dirhams from the state treasury to live. That was his salary for the entire year. And when his death was approaching, he had asked for his property to be sold and the money to be returned to the state treasury. He didn't want to have any account for anything. And he gave back everything that he took, which was rightfully his. He returned it to the state treasury. This was the type of man Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was. He was very honest in his dealings. He had 4 wives. The first of them being Qatila radiallahu anhu. She was the mother of Abdullah radiallahu and Asma radiallahu anhu. Then he had Ruman, who was the mother of Aisha radiallahu and Abdurrahman. Habiba radiallahu was the mother of Kulthum, his youngest of children. And Asma was the mother of Muhammad. So this was the family of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. There's a simple story that I would like to just share with you. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu would really go out of his way to make khidmat for his people. Coming back to the work and the chores that he did, during the later evenings, he would snuck out from the masjid and he would go to a little rural place out of Medina. There was a blind lady who resided there. He would go there and he would clean her house, he would cook for her, he would do all the chores and he would leave. Umar radiallahu anhu one day became suspicious and he followed Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and he wanted to see where Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was going. And from the outskirts he peeped and he saw what Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was doing. As time went on and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was no longer, Umar radiallahu anhu went and took over these chores and he started doing what Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did. One day, the lady of the house stopped Umar radiallahu anhu and asked him, "Where is your friend? Why does he not return?" Umar radiallahu anhu answered that he is no longer. And he inquired from her how she knew that he was not the same person. She replied that you forgot to remove the seeds from the dates. So this is a life lesson for us to take, that Umar radiallahu anhu followed in the footsteps of Abu Bakr radiallahu, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu made sure of every little detail. I hope we take some inspiration from this lesson and we bring some of these qualities into our lives. I leave you with that. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The kitab that I'm using is Khulafaa-e-Rashideen from the Lenasia Muslim Association.